Alright gentlemen, with this one right here, we are on patch 8, and we are about to get into all of our prestige perk updates that were made within the patch. So overall, I don't think any of these reworks are like crazy or completely class changing, but there are some okay ones and some that you may want to go in there and test out. So let's get into these. And then one of the important ones that's not even in here, and I made a separate video on it, is the sniper. Emperor's Grace will now work with lingering concealment, which is a huge buff to the sniper's prestige perks. He probably got the best thing right there. And yeah, let's start right here with the Bulwark. So what happened with him was he had rally point, and the perk has been reworked, and the new perk is going to be called Emboldened Stance. So rally point is the one that would make your chapter banner additionally remove negative status effects, which that is a horrible one. I'm sure nobody was taking that, and they replaced that with when the chapter banner is active, all squad members do not lose control upon taking heavy hits and cannot be knocked back. Now, while this is a lot better than the old perk, like 100 times better than the old perk, you're still not really going to take this one either, just because most classes in the game already have knockback tied to their class, and it's not going to be worth dropping their knockback just to gain it in the banner when it's, you know, the banner is only up for so much time during the operations. So overall, you're probably not going to use that one much. Now for the assault one here, we have boosted recharge, and that was replaced with unyielding oath. So the old one was collecting an armor boost restores ability charge by 100%, another horrible one, and they are replacing that when charging a ground pound, you become invulnerable for 3 seconds. Now, that's actually not a bad one, and it's kind of something that I wanted on the class just in general. I didn't even want it to be a perk. But the thing is, a lot of higher tier players, they're not going to want to drop a lot of the other perks to really gain this one. So I think this is going to be more for like newer type of players, because then your timing's kind of off. You're kind of going into your ground pounds at the wrong time. And it's kind of weird because obviously if you're already in prestige ranks, you're really not a newer player. So you're probably going to be too good to really take advantage of this one. And yeah, I think a lot of his other perks are going to be better. But like I said before, 100% better than the other one, but still not really good enough to change up any of your main ones. Now for the sniper here, like I said, Emperor's Grace and lingering concealment, I can't say it enough. Those two are going to work together. That is a great combination. But he did have a good one added in here. They got rid of boosted recharge, which was collecting an armor boost restores ability by 100%. And they added material upgrade, which is equipment damage radius increases by 15%. So if you can get your hands on like a melt-a-bomb, having a 15% radius, honestly, having a 15% radius on most of the equipment is going to be very, very nice. So this is one that for some specialty builds, definitely if you're running like the nade sniper where you are taking advantage of your headshots, gaining a bunch of grenades back, this may be a good one to tie to some builds. So we will get into probably some build guides on that one eventually here. So that is definitely one to look at with the sniper. And then when we are moving over to the heavy, we have what has been reworked here. Okay, so his Iron Halo that removes status effects, that is gone now. And then we have Honed Precision that gives us equipped weapons maximum spread decreases by 25% when firing without aiming. So as I said before, with most of these, a lot better than the old one, but not nearly good enough to take when you're comparing it to the other prestige perks you have on the heavy. So I would really stick with what you got going on. And then when it's coming to our tactical prestige perks, he just got an update here for skilled supplier. They fixed a bug for the player from getting the maximum ammo. So I knew this was giving me ammo, but obviously I guess it was not giving you 15% ammo at some points or whatever it was. So this will now give you the full amount of ammo as the tactical. So overall with the prestige perk updates, you know, I think honestly they're kind of underwhelming because a lot of the classes really didn't get anything that they're going to be able to use in like higher difficulty type of content. So I would say the best one, obviously the sniper got the best perks when it comes to the prestige perk updates here. And then what I really wanted was some tactical prestige perk reworks. And he didn't get nothing. He got nothing reworked. All he got was a bug that was broken fixed. So that is really something that I wanted to see on here. But unfortunately, you know, they didn't go in and change any of the tactical's prestige perks, so he's kind of going to be where he's at. I'm kind of hoping they can add a prestige perk in there to maybe somehow help the grenade launcher a little bit, but I don't really know what kind of perk they could do. But like I said, overall, it's kind of underwhelming. There are some of these you are going to want to go in there and check out. For assault players, like a lot of people are using jump dash builds right now. And, you know, the ground pound invulnerable for 3 seconds is just, I mean, like I said, it is something that I always really wanted. But now that I have, you know, reworked my gameplay around it, taking it is just going to, you know, throw me in a deficit somewhere else because of some of his prestige perks are just that good. And then the same thing with the Bulwark. Like I said, it's a lot better. A lot of these are a lot better than the old ones. Just they're not quite good enough to really peak up on your radar for taking with the classes here. So overall, that's kind of how I feel about them. I am glad that they are they're getting rid of some of these worthless ones, but I think they just replaced them with ones that are better, but still not good enough for the classes. So it is what it is when it comes to that. Sniper, definitely get in there. Check out your prestige perks. I did run some absolute difficulty today, and I will tell you that it has greatly increased in its difficulty, which, you know, everybody wanted. So you are going to get exactly what you want when it comes to that. And then another thing which is awesome for us console players, you can do true solo now. You can turn off your bots. The private lobbies are working differently. So if you are interested in that, you could also try that out. But overall, obviously, guys, I'm going to be getting into a ton of patch 8. I'm going to run a ton of siege mode. I'm going to try to build out some builds to get us through, obviously, through wave 15 and beyond, because they did change how the timer works. But it does sound like it is going to get extremely difficult in the later stages of horde mode, or yeah, in siege mode, should I say. And I really can't wait for that. Okay, let's move straight over to our class perk changes here. So the most impactful ones are going to be on the Bulwark, because he's getting the addition of the Thunderhammer. So a lot of his perks are going to be reworked to take advantage of having the Thunderhammer. And honestly, he does have some very nice ones in here. So let's take a look at his first one here, Forward Momentum. The perk has been updated. The Shield Bash for the melee damage increases by 30% for 10 seconds. This is now added. The Thunderhammer Pummel Smash will also increase your damage by 30% for 10 seconds. So you are using your Pummel Smash a lot, and then you're going to be tying that to your Ground Pound, which is, you know, right after you use your Pummel Smash, you're obviously getting your 30%. And then we're going to talk about another one in here where you're actually getting another 15%. But let's move straight to the next one here. So Forward Momentum, very good for the Thunderhammer. We have Concussive Force. And the old one was Shield Bash, deals 200% more damage. And now the new one is the Thunderhammer Pummel Smash, deals 100% more damage and deals area of effect damage within 7-meter radius. So that is very, very nice. The cooldown is 5 seconds, so you can't just like unlimitedly spam it. But that is a very cool thing to add to the Pummel Smash, and doing 100% more damage. So it just makes the Pummel Smash very important to use throughout your gameplay. Like I said, tie your ground pounds to your Pummel Smash. So you'll start your encounter with the Pummel Smash, and then when you can and you don't have to block or parry, you can go straight into a ground pound and take advantage of all kinds of different perks that you're going to have added here. And now next up we have Merciless Resolve. This was your Shield Bash, melee damage increases by 15% after a Shield Bash. So the rework for your Thunderhammer is going to be after the Thunderhammer Pummel, you will increase by 15%, and you will not lose control upon taking heavy hits, and you cannot be knocked back for 10 seconds. So with that being the thing, you're probably going to be able, I mean, you're going to keep your not lose control from heavy hits and knockback immunity up for a lot of the operation, because you're going to be using your Pummel Smash a lot. So this is a very strong one. Merciless Resolve is going to tie very good to the Thunderhammer, and just a lot of his perks are just overall making the Thunderhammer very, very powerful in the class. And then last up here, we have Focused Restoration, and the perk has been buffed from every 40 seconds, and the cooldown decreased from 40 to 30 seconds. So that is a pretty good decrease. I think 20 seconds would be, I would 100% take it. 30 seconds is more in, I have to get in there and see how that feels, but that does not sound too bad, because every 30 seconds is not bad to grab some armor. So yeah, Bulwark, definitely a lot of different perks. You want to go in there, go through your Thunderhammer builds, because there are a ton of things you can tie to it to make it extremely powerful on this class. and then you are going to have the ability to use your banner to get your health back. So I think the Thunderhammer is just going to work well with the Bulwark overall. That is probably why they increased the time on the banner, was probably because they had this planned in the in the future with the Thunderhammer. And if you were able to refill your health that often with the Thunderhammer with these buffs that you have on it, you probably would be completely overpowered. I still think this is going to be an overpowering build. So for the Bulwark, definitely get in there and test out the Thunderhammer. So let's move straight over to the tactical. And obviously, Thunderhammer builds are coming very soon, guys. It's going to be one of the first ones I'm doing here since it is a whole new weapon to the class. But let's go over to the tactical real quick. We have Final Shot. The perk has been reworked. The new perk is Emperor's Judgment. So this is after a finisher, the equipped ranged weapon reloads automatically. And the new one is after a finisher, the equipped ranged weapon reloads automatically. And your primary weapon deals 20% more damage for 10 seconds. So I didn't read that one. That's interesting. I know it is very, very hard to take out Emperor's Grace. So, or not Emperor's Grace, but what is it? It's your reload. You're gonna lose your reload perk to take that, but 20% more damage and added onto your ranged weapon is very nice. So if you're somebody who can really, really use your ammo efficiently, this may be a very, very strong perk for the class. So obviously we're going to go in there and check that one out very soon here. And then next up on the tactical, we have Communion of Fire. The perk has been reworked. The new perk is Secure Stockpile. So recoil is reduced by 25%. That's the old one. The new one is Equipment Charge is restored by 1 for all squad members. Cooldown is 60 seconds. Oh, wow. That's another one. So the tactical is getting some amazing perk updates here for sure. So that equipment charge one, that sounds very, very strong, guys. So you are 100% going to want to be checking that one out as well. And then next up, we have Steady Aim, and this perk has been buffed. The recoil is reduced by 20%, and the range damage against Terminus level enemies is increased by 10%. Range damage bonus increased from 10 to 15%. So you're going to grab a 5% there. But yeah, Secure Stockpile and Emperor's Judgment, both of those sound very good. Secure Stockpile is definitely one that both of them sound good, guys. So we're definitely going to make some reworks with those, but let's keep moving right along before I get stuck on anybody for too long. Okay, we have the Assault up next. We have Winged Fury, and this perk has been buffed. From the damage from melee attacks executed while sprinting or dashes increases by 40%. So it went to 40, or from 40 to 100%. So very similar to what they just did with the Bulwark. They are also going to give you that buff, but it does not seem like they are tying any type of AoE damage to your pummel smash, unfortunately, with the Assault. And then we have Hammer of Wrath. This perk has also been buffed. So the after a ground pound, you take 15% less range damage, and you do not lose control upon taking heavy hits, and you cannot be knocked back for 10 seconds. Which, kind of, you're using your prestige perk now for your knockback immunity, but the damage reduction increased from 15 to 20% on this, and the knockback immunity duration increased from 10 to 15 seconds. So that is, it's not too bad, but like I said, you do have the knockback immunity already, but they like I said, they made the that buffs a lot better than what it was. So we have Vanguard up next, Moving Target. The perk has been buffed. Each melee attack you land reduces range damage by 2%, and that has went from 2% to 5%. So that is a very big buff, and that is going to that's going to get you at 30%. So that's going to be your max possible range damage. Yeah, right. Yeah, because I think his other one's 20%, and then maybe 25% for the health. So that's not bad at all. And then every swing is going to give you 5%. So as long as you land 3 strikes, you're already at 15% range damage resistance. So that's not a bad one either there for the Vanguard. We have Retribution is up next. After you are grabbed or knocked back, you deal 25% more melee damage for 15 seconds. Bonus damage increased from 25 to 30. Duration increased from 15 to 20 seconds. This isn't bad. I overall just hate perks that rely on me making a mistake to activate them. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of why I just really don't like those kind of perks. But I mean, obviously 30% is a lot of damage, and let's face it, you are going to get knocked back at some point throughout the operation. So, and then we have the sniper perks here. We have precision targeting. The perk has been buffed. Weapon spread is reduced by 25%, and range damage against extremist level enemies is increased by 10%, and that has been changed from 10 to 15%. And then we have dexterous hands. The instigator bolt carbine is also affected, so you're going to grab your 20% increased reloads on that, which is going to be very nice. So the overall winners for me are definitely the first two we looked at, guys. These the Bulwark, these are very, very good ones to add into. And don't get me wrong, some of these are good too. Obviously, Winged Fairy from 40% to 100% is good on the assault as well. But these are major ones really for both of these classes here. I think the tactical really made out because if you're looking like to min-max some builds, Emperor's Judgment, even though you're going to lose out on ammo, like I said, it depends how good you are with your ammo consumption and just how much harder Absolute's going to be on your ammunition in general to really see if you could take that. But that is a huge amount of damage, even though it's, 10 seconds is still pretty long. And that's after a finisher. You're doing that constantly. And another 20% added on to what he's got going on already damage-wise could be just huge. And then, as I said before, the equipment charge every 60 seconds is pretty insane too. So Bulwark, I'm going to do the Thunderhammer build very soon here, and then tactical, I do want to check out these perk updates and really try to make something work with these for sure. But yeah, when it comes to the class perk updates altogether, guys, like I said, I think the Bulwark and tactical made out the best, but every class seen a little something besides the heavy. But let's face it, the heavy don't need much.